my channel. Today's topic is on postpartum depression. It's actually a request from one of my subscribers who writes, "Can you do a video on postpartum depression? I'm struggling really bad still, even though my youngest just turned 1. Anything positive would be helpful." This request actually came in a month ago, so I hope I'm not too late. I personally do not have experience with postpartum depression, though I did experience what people call the baby blues. Shortly after my mother left, I was living in Memphis away from family. My husband was a resident, working crazy hours, and my mom stayed a month, so I was really lucky to have her. My husband's leave had finished, paternity leave, and my mom, I dropped her off at the airport, and I just remember it was snowing that day. I could just remember the day, the time, everything. And I drove off with my new baby in my back seat. There was something about my mommy leaving me that I'm like, no, my mom's leaving me. And having this baby that I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm a mom. There were so many thoughts going through my head, but I cried myself, not to sleep, but driving that whole way home. And I was just crying and crying and crying, and I had this sadness inside of me. I was just like weeping and wailing. It was a really, really sad time. Well, I expected to go to bed that night and for it to be gone the next day, but it wasn't. It actually lasted exactly 4 days because I remember just crying so much. I remember feeling so much feelings of emptiness, and for once in my life I understood what depression was. I've had people in my life that had depression, and I never could understand, like, gosh, everything is so perfect around you, that you have your family, like there's so many happy things going on, why can't you be happy? And I guess it was my ignorance, not understanding that you can't control when depression hits you. It's just something that is a condition. It takes over you, and it's nothing that you can really control. You can do things to help it out, and that's what I'm here to share with you today. Some things that you can do to identify if you have it and how to make things better, how to get through this postpartum depression. So because my experience was very limited, I took it to my Facebook page, and I got so many amazing responses from lots of moms who have been through this. So if you're currently dealing with postpartum depression, or you even suspect that you are, it's so important to reach out and find that support. So there was tons and tons of comment. I'm going now through my Facebook page. One of the first things that I read that was pretty common, and what everyone was saying, was to get help. As soon as you feel that you have postpartum depression, don't keep being in denial. Well, maybe I'm sad. Maybe it's because I'm overweight. Like, stop second guessing yourself and identify that you are probably going through postpartum depression. If you are finding yourself sleep deprived, you are just sad, crying, anxiety, those are all feelings of that. Those are all indications that you could have postpartum depression. So one of the common things that everyone said was to get help as soon as possible. Another thing people mentioned was to not to be ashamed, to go and see a therapist right away. This is something that is so common. Professionals know how to deal with this, and so by you going to them, you're only going to take away that pain quicker than if you were just to delay it. So go seek help. Do not be ashamed to seek professional help. A lot of people also said don't be ashamed to take medication if you need to. I know that taking medication for depression is so taboo, and we're like, a lot of people are like, oh no, I'm not going to go that route, which is fine. I don't know what I would do if I was in that situation. I kind of tend to be like against, or not against, but just I don't go the pill route so fast. So I would probably be hesitant as well. But a lot of people talked about how those medications helped them. So if that is an option, don't be ashamed of it. Everybody that was on medication got off of it within 6 months to a year. So it's not a forever thing. It's just to temporarily take that pain away from you. And so don't be afraid to take medication if you need to. The next one is to get a lot of sleep. A lot of people talked about getting sleep and how that was so important to your mood and how happy you were that day or the next day. It can affect your mood totally. So make sure and get that sleep, even if you need to get help and have somebody watch the baby while you sleep. It's very important to get sleep in order to overcome this. And then I wrote one of my good friends that I know she struggled with this big time, and here were some of her tips. What helped her was exercise, talking to someone when you're down, happy, uplifting music, prayers, writing down your feelings in a journal, and bubble baths. So all of those things, just anything that's going to uplift you. Today, I injured my back. You guys wouldn't know, but I'm literally walking around like a grandma. I was feeling like crap. I worked out. My hair was disgusting, and I just wanted to feel better about myself. So I put some makeup on. I curled my hair. And I'm just going to be sitting in my couch, but it just made me feel better about myself, because this is, for me, what makes me feel good, putting on makeup and stuff. And I wanted to film this video because it's so long overdue, but it's so important to take care of yourself and to not neglect yourself. Right after you have a baby, it's so hard to do a lot of things for yourself, but you can definitely make the time. And know that by making that time, you're gonna make yourself feel better. So in closing, I just wanna remind you that it's nothing that you can control yourself. Don't be afraid to get help. Reach out to someone. And I would say telling your family that you are struggling with this, that way they can be more on alert. If they see you kind of being sad, they can know, okay, let me help you out. But if you keep it to yourself, you're only going to build up that maybe resentment or feeling like no one's helping you, reaching out to you. And so it's important to let people know that you're struggling with this. Don't be ashamed, you guys. I know that it's an awful feeling. Just if what I felt for those 4 days, if that continued for months and months, I mean, it's not a good feeling. So make sure and get that help. And if anyone, and again, this is a large community discussion, if you have any advice on how to overcome postpartum depression or what worked for you, please leave it in the comments below, and let's help our other moms in the community out. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any other requests, ask Lily. You can also leave that in the comments below. I take my personal messages very serious. If you need help with anything, I would be happy to give you my perspective on it. Thanks for watching. Bye. It takes more than